Rev up your engines!
Well, don't say I didn't warn people, but when Stellantis took over Chrysler from Fiat, you knew they were going to start moving jobs to Italy. Well, Stellantis just invested $2.1 billion to build 3 new Alfa Romeos and Jeep Compasses in Italy. Jeep is only a name now. It doesn't mean anything. These things are made in Italy. They have horrible quality control there. They're building new Alfa Romeos. You know how many Alfa Romeos sold in the United States last year? Alfa Romeo sold 7,590 cars in the United States. Nobody's buying them, right? They're not very good cars, but they're upping it. Now, you might think, why are they doing this, investing all this money? Because it's in factories in Italy. The Italian government's got kind of a hold on Fiat and Stellantis because they got that, BS deal about, well, they're going to sell all these electric cars and electrify Italy. Oh, yeah, good luck on that one, right? So they're kind of making a compromise. Okay, you put money in factories in Italy, you'll make jobs here. Forget about the electric cars. Hey, €2 billion into the local market of Italy for building more cars there. Hey, I say great. Build them over there and keep them over there. Ask anybody who's bought a late model Jeep Compass, and they'll probably tell you it's a rolling pile of crap. You buy something that's made in Italy like that, just like the Jeep Renegade. This thing is songs, Renegade. It's just a rebadged Fiat four-wheel drive vehicle. But they call it the Jeep Renegade. Ask anybody who's bought a Jeep Renegade, and they'll probably tell you it was the worst vehicle they ever had. So let them build them over there. They can appease the Italians, but here in the United States, guess what? We're not going to be buying your Alfa Romeos at any large amount. Yeah, there's fools who get suckered into it. There always have been. Build them in Italy. Keep them there. That's what I say. Well, here's a big turnaround. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration just backed down from forcing a recall that would hit 50 million cars. Now, this is another airbag job. They're saying that the inflators weren't made right and they could explode and injure people, right? Strangely enough, they're made down the road here in Tennessee in Knoxville. Now, this fight has been going on for years between the car makers and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. U.S. safety regulators said, well, we need further investigation now. We can't say whether the parts are defective or not. Now, of course, the automakers are fighting this tooth and nail because the biggest recall in history was the Takata airbags. Well, this isn't Takata, it's another company, but it's still problems with airbags, and if they had to do 50 million cars over, it's going to cost them some serious scratch, right? So it seems like there's some collusion here, as far as I can see. First they said, yeah, we're going to recall them. Oh, no, let's think about it. And this has been going on for years. I can imagine what's going on in the backroom deals here. Insane thing is that in May 2023, GM recalled 1 million of their vehicles manufactured in 2014 to 2017 that had these arc inflators. That's what they're called, the arc inflators that are in the airbags. And that same month, the regulators recommended that ARC had a widespread recall of its inflators. The company has refused to do so, of course. They'd go bankrupt if they did, right? Now, it's really unusual for regulators to force a recall since most are going to agree to fix it. So they didn't agree to fix it. At least GM stepped up to the plate, and they recalled 1 million of them to fix them. This is 50 million. The ARC guys wanted it. Now the feds are saying, well, we don't know. Sounds like a fishy situation to me. Well, you think they could have thought this one out, but hey, under pressure, Hyundai just ended an Alabama prison labor contract for one of their suppliers. They were buying parts from a supplier who was using Alabama prisoners. Quality control Hyundai, not that great. Engines blowing up, transmissions blowing up. Gee, maybe it's because they're being made by prisoners. They're making parts for them, and now under pressure, Hyundai says, we better not use those prisoners anymore. Maybe it kind of reminds people of the gulags in Russia and in communist China, all the things that they're doing in there. We don't like those people. We'll put them in these prisons. Then we'll use them for slave labor. I guess they were doing it for a while in Alabama, but it's not cutting the mustard anymore. After facing public scrutiny for the use of prison labor, a supplier to South Korean automaker Hyundai in Alabama says it dismissed dozens of incarcerated men it employed. The supplier was Yu Young. A Korean guy too, right? Maybe they don't understand how our society works. Well, it turns out that Alabama changed its constitution in 2022 to more broadly ban involuntary servitude, removing a previous exemption for those convicted of crimes. So I guess back in the day, you're convicted of crime, you could be a slave. So, in some extent, slavery in Alabama was abolished in 2022. And the Koreans, they didn't quite comprehend this, right? And you can't make this stuff up. It's just crazy, right? Well, if you think Teslas are dangerous driving on the road, guess what? They're dangerous even sitting inside of boxes. On November 29th, a shipping container rocked the port of Miami, burnt down to the ground, blew up. And guess what was in it? 4 vehicles, including a Tesla Model S. Obviously, the Tesla burned it down to the ground. It started on fire, sitting in the ship container. They were lucky in one aspect of the thing. The ship container was sitting on the ground. What would happen if it went on a ship container moving somewhere? Who knows? Burnt the whole ship down. I mean, that's what happened to that one ship that was coming to the United States in the Atlantic Ocean. It burnt down and it sunk, and it had a bunch of electric cars. They'll never come to any real conclusion. Things sunk at the bottom of the ocean, right? But it was full of electric cars and it burnt down. Need I say more? They need to start looking at shipping container rules. In Norway, they're into electric stuff, right? They got ferries there, and their big ferries carry cars and trucks. But they do not allow electric-powered battery vehicles to ride on the ferry because they're worried it's going to start a fire and burn their ferry. I think they should make some laws about electric cars being transported in these ship containers. Imagine if it would have been on a container ship. Could have destroyed everything on the ship, burnt the ship down. Right? They need to start making legislation for these things instead of just letting it go like a Wild West. Oh, there goes another one burning down. Well, if you want to talk about sleazy people, listen to this. From Oscar Robledo. And he says, Scotty, I bought a brand new Camry LE yesterday at Wright Toyota dealership in Scottsdale, Arizona. They offered me a service contract maintenance for $3,000, an extended warranty, right? I declined it. According to the dealer, my basic warranty, $36,000 to 3 years, will be voided if I do not buy this coverage. I was under the impression manufacturers have to cover new vehicle warranties regardless. Please help. What a bunch of scumbags they are. Of course it's true. You buy a new car, you got the warranty, and they're saying you don't get it. Those people are the sleaziest salesmen on earth. Contact the Better Business Bureau. I mean, you can call your local newspaper, but who the heck reads newspapers anymore? Call a TV station. They'd love to do a story on that. Right? That is just ridiculous. Well, you don't get your regular warranty unless you buy this extended one, too. They probably didn't put it in writing, right? They just said that to you. Now, I don't know what the law is in Arizona, but in Texas, a verbal agreement, things done orally, is legal. So if they said that to you verbally, then they're breaking the law. And they should be fined, thrown into jail, whatever, for misleading people. You gotta report these people. I mean, I've heard of people going far. I've never heard that one before. No, you don't get your regular warranty unless you buy this extended one, too, and give us $3,000 more. That salesman should be locked up, thrown away the key, and let him stew for a few years for being an absolute scumbag, lying to people. Talk to the owner of that place, too. That's just ridiculous. Well, there are now people who are getting their home insurance canceled after they installed solar panels. A bunch of it's happening in Canada. In Canada, the government gives them subsidies and everything. So we want to be green. The Canadians are nice people, so they think, well, we want to be green. We'll put solar panels on, even though, I mean, it snows there all the time, and it's dark and cold in the winter. They're not going to get too much electricity from that, right? But they were nice and they put them up. And now some of their insurance companies are either canceling the policies or saying we're not going to cover anybody who's got a house like that because they say they don't know what kind of damage can occur from this and we don't want to be responsible. They're heavy, right? So it's going to destroy your roof eventually. That's only common sense. But they're saying things like, well, Canadian norther comes through, wind, it can knock these panels off and then destroy things, maybe fall, kill people. They're moving around. If the wind starts rocking them, the wires might cross and short out. Insurance providers in Canada are getting nervous about these solar panels on roofs with reasoning of risks and uncertainties. Guy put one in Burlington, Ontario, next to Hamilton, next to Toronto, right? And he said he put it in 2023, and then his insurer, the Canadian Automobile Association, wanted to cancel his coverage. Why are they selling homeowners insurance to houses? They're not automobiles, right? Everybody wants to expand to make money because insurance makes so much freaking money. No matter where you are, the insurance companies get these premiums, right? And they just make sure that they never pay out more money than they're taking in. And if they see a possible risk, that's it. They're not going to cover it. I've seen it personally in Texas where if storms came a lot, the company would say, we're no longer going to insure houses in, say, Galveston, Texas, because it's low lying and hurricanes will flood it and all kinds of damage done. So they're starting to think about solar panels now. Hey, I mean, it's a logical thing. They obviously can do a lot of damage to your roof from the weight and fall off. They could start a fire. People don't install them correctly, right? I've seen places install them, and I talked to the installers, and they weren't even licensed electrician. They said, oh, well, our company has one, so we're allowed to do it, but none of us are licensed, right? You might want to think twice before you put a solar panel on your roof, especially if you live up in Canada. You may have to pay even more for insurance or not have any insurance at all. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.